Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove, and thanks for joining me today. I wanted to jump on and show you some little video on playing with lace and sewing some mixed media together. So in this case, I had a bunch of fabric scraps that I'm still trying to use up, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to incorporate lace. And the reason I'm jumping on lace is I was at the thrift shop and I got 2 rolls of this, I guess, wedding lace, they call it, in a bag for $1.99. And the original price is actually $12.99, so that was a really good deal. I couldn't resist. So I bought 2 of them, and then I went ahead and coffee dyed the one. So basically, I took the roll, I dissolved some instant coffee into hot water in a bin, and dropped this in it, soaked it, made sure it was saturated all the way through. And then when I was done soaking it, I squeezed out the excess and took it off the roll, put it in front of my fireplace to dry, and then re-rolled it. So now I have this really pretty coffee stained option as well as the stark white. So I'm going to play with the lace and incorporating it into some what I call messy scraps. I've been having a lot of fun using up different materials. So here's a sketch that I've done, and I've sewn it with fabric. Here's a pressed flower option. Here's another pressed flower. So these are laminated. This one's, they're both laminated. And I've sewn the lace in with it, as well as a piece of paper. So I'm trying to use up a lot of scraps that I have. And then of course I'm at the thrift shop and I can't resist because I'll see good bargains, and I ended up with even more product, which, you know, is kind of a good thing and not a good thing, because as you're building things, you're making even more scraps. So it's a never-ending battle. So while I was at the thrift shop, there was a couple of other little things as well that I scored. So I got this really pretty kind of beaded ribbon. Thought that kind of could be fun. These I think are just dollar store items that were in the bag with it. But again, more textures, more interest into these little messy scraps. And here's some, I think this came off some sort of packaging or something, so I thought we can use that up. This, I'm not sure where I got it, but again, it also looks like just dollar store product, and it's like a jute type weave. So anyways, I thought it'd be fun to show you just quickly how I incorporate some of these elements together. And I call them messy scraps because I am messy. I never sew anything straight. So you can see here, my bobbin actually has a black thread underneath and a clear, like a cream thread on top. So again, just adds another texture. So if you don't like that look, you can change out the threads, you can go bright colors, whatever you like. So let's just, let's play, let's make something. So let's see here. Got my little baggie of pieces to use up. What have I got? Oh yeah, I took this rose one out because I really like this is just a little specimen of those mini roses that you get in a pot, and then you can put them in the garden. So I pressed a few of these last year, so I just laminated them. And I've shown a video on how to laminate and how to varnish your pressed flowers, so I'll try and remember to link that underneath in the description box. So let's play with some fabrics. Now, do I have any scraps that I've cut? No, I'm not prepared enough. So here's some plain scraps. I have a couple of other ones over here. Just a big mess. So you can see, you just collect little scraps like this, and then I just cut them up and tear them. And I like to incorporate all these elements together. That's paper, beads, all kinds of fun stuff. This is a piece of vintage lace, and maybe you could use that. Here's a piece of what looks like an old tablecloth or something. So let's use this one. This one's already ripped up, so I'll move this out of the way. And then, you know, when you're creating these, you kind of create like an assembly line, and you're off to the races before you know it. If you created a bunch of these, And then you put them in a little bin or a little baggie like I have, and then they're ready to use for a journal whenever you want them. So there's a piece there. And I think we will kind of play with where we want the lace. So one of the things I like to do is I like to sew it down like this and then cut this open so it kind of gives you this raw edge. And again, they are messy scraps, so you can see nothing's perfect, nothing's so neat. I just cut away the edge, but if you like the nice neat edges, you can take your time and do that as well. I just like to produce things relatively quickly. See, I'm in frame here. And I don't like to stress over things being straight. It's about being creative and just having fun with materials that you've collected. So I know that my camera is bird-eyed only, so it might not be able to see visually me sewing. I'm gonna actually sew this all together at once, I think. And that way I only have one stitch. Yeah, let's do that. So all I'm gonna do is sew around, I'll try and bring it a little closer, sew around where the plastic edging is, and then I can cut this away after. And again, if it's not straight, not upset about it. It's part of the process, and I kind of like things perfectly imperfect, as I say. So bear with me. I'm just going to do this stitch. So I'm just going to put it on a straight stitch. And again, I have like a cream color thread, and then I have a black thread underneath. And I am a terrible sewer. So any of you who sew neatly might be cringing right now, because I don't sew well at all. And my machine is ancient, but it still works, so I keep her around. All right, there we go. Nice quick stitch. So it's stitched in. So now I just kind of dig a little into the lace, and I'm gonna cut away what I want to expose. And again, see how messy I am? Part of the fun. And I like the coffee dyed lace. I get it just gives another bit of interest. So I don't know if you see the light changing. We have a bright sunny day and then suddenly very, very cloudy. It's like somebody's playing with the light switch. It's pretty bright out there at some point, and then gets really dark. So there it is. I just cut it away and expose it. And you can take your time cleaning these edges out really neat. But a great way to incorporate your pressed flowers. And again, you can do this with the laminated version like I did here, or you can do it with the varnish way that I show in a video as well. So I'm going to trim this back now. It's a good way to use up lacy bits, and look at all the texture you've got already just using these little elements. So now you can embellish more if you want. You can add some thin light lace like this. You can incorporate maybe, let's try some of this stuff. Gonna add that to it as well, so let's try that. So I think I don't want to add, maybe I do, maybe I will add some stitching. I was gonna say I'd glue it, but let's try the stitch, see how that works through this stuff. I don't know if my machine can go through this jute or not, but we'll give it a go. So I'm just gonna line that up there and put this on top, and then we'll hopefully stitch it relatively straight. We'll see. All right, fed it in. I think I'm gonna just shift it over a bit. And hopefully you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. I gotta get my camera and maybe invest in getting a different camera or something. I'm really just using my iPhone for my YouTube videos. So we only have the one angle. There we go. So that's stitched pretty good actually. And then we have it, all these different layers that you can now sew to another panel for a cover. You can trim it down and add it and turn it into a pocket top. Really, really useful and really fun way to use up lace bits. So maybe we'll do one more just so you can see some other options here. It's gonna go in my little goodie bag. So these are all my laminated flowers that I have. Let's do this one. So this one I laminated with a piece of paper and another piece of paper behind it, as well as the pressed flower. So just, again, more dimension. So let's chop this piece of lace. And I mean, this has got so much lace on it. It's gonna take me years to use this up. So this would make such a pretty book cover. I could keep going and keep going. Let's see what else we want to use. Maybe a darker fabric this time. And I love just sitting here working away on these and having fun, just building up layers and textures. Let's use some of this stuff. And again, you go, like if you're a thrifter like me, it's just so much fun. You just, when you find stuff like this for super cheap, it's like, yes, I was so meant to come in here today. So maybe something like that. What else have we got? Yeah, I think that works. I've got this vintage lace here too. This is a really beautiful piece. So you can pin this as well if you're a little bit nervous of sewing it all at once because you want it to be straight. You might want to pin it all or tack it down with some glue. I don't like to use glue too much, especially if it's going through my machine, because it can gunk things up a bit. So, I mean, how fun would that be for a book cover and then a long piece like this to go around the book and then tie in a bow to close the book? Like, your creative juices just start flowing when you put the stuff together. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna sew this down and then I'll come back and sew that because I'm not gonna be able to catch that. So hopefully I can get this straight enough. And again, go ahead and pin it down if it's a concern. I'm just plain too lazy to do it. So. And it doesn't upset me if it doesn't work. I'll just keep modifying till I get something I like. All right, so this we want it tucked in here because this is gonna go in here. So right about there works. Okay, just keep sewing that across. Put this guy back in where we want him. Or do we want that right on top? I think I might just move it over a bit. No, like, let's put it underneath how we originally had it. Right here. Okay, let's sew that now. So I'm going to sew right around the plastic laminated little card here, little specimen. And I can't remember what plant this was. I think, if I remember right, it was a piece of geranium leaf. All right. There we go. So again, just another really cute way of keeping all these different textures and elements together. And we could even embellish even more if we wanted by sewing something like this in there. You know, you could do a couple of beads in it. Like it just keeps going and going, right? So we could sew that in there too if we wanted, but I think you get the idea. And it's really just a question of using up bits and pieces that you have in your stash, using up some lacy bits, using up paper. So we didn't use any paper in this, but you can sew. Here's some lace, and I just sewed it straight to a standard piece of textured paper that I had kicking around. And it just keeps going and going. Here is a pocket. So I'm gonna do a video. I'll be uploading a video on how I make these little pockets with little accessories, and then that gets sewn to the lacy pieces. And if you have some sketches you've done, you can incorporate paper and sew those in as well. And then you just collect these and you're ready to go when you're ready to make your journals, and you've got a whack load of fun things to use or trade or give away or sell, whatever you want to do. And so it just keeps going and going. Here's another one. I don't know if I showed you this one. This is a sketch I did that I made out of a pocket into, sewed it to paper, incorporated the texture of the lace and more paper. So again, and lace on the insert here. So layer after layer of textures and some visual interest. So I hope that gave you some ideas. I hope you have fun with your bits and bobs and pieces, and a sewing machine if you have it, or hand stitch if you have the patience. And if you like the video, please subscribe and hit the like button, and join me again for more, because I'll be embellishing even more videos on how to make these sorts of things, because this is what I'm right into right now. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.